Hey guys, Kevin here. So the last video we talked about walking and the importance of walking to provide exercise in a very structured way for your dog. So today we've got Ayla here. She's 6 months old. From what we can tell, probably not a lot of leash training. She probably has some experience, but at any rate, we got a really good candidate here to kind of see the process from start to finish. So for me, I am a real big fan of slip style tools. I use them all for different reasons. Today we're using just the standard slip lead, and basically it's just teaching your dog the basic principles of pressure on, pressure off, and getting them to really be able to follow gentle guidance and influence via the leash. And this is the tool that helps us do that in a very gentle way. One of the reasons that that's possible is where it's designed to be worn, but at any rate, this is where it's designed to be worn. That's how we're going to start off with it, is way up high on the very top of the neck, as far up under the chin as you can get it, so you're actually off of the trachea, off of the throat, you're actually up under the jawbone. And this allows us to provide that little bit of pressure with minimal to no discomfort, depending on the individual and how strong of a puller they might be in the initial steps. So there are a couple of different things that I want to communicate with Miss Ayla during the leash introduction. One of which is probably the most important moving forward, is that we want her to understand how to release the pressure once it gets created. So I'm going to deliberately give her very gentle pressure cues and essentially teach her what I expect in response to that pressure cue. Alright, so I'm going to start the process with Miss Ayla and start deliberately giving her those little pressure cues that we just talked about. I like to do this with some distance between me and the dog initially. So I'm going to let her go to the extent of the leash, and I'm going to wait until she's a little bit more still. There we go. And then deliberately, as I said, give her that little bit of pressure. So there's that little tiny bit of pressure. Tiny little bit of pressure. That's a good girl. And reward her for even the slightest move. She closed that distance all the way, came all the way into my personal space, which is another behavior that I'm working to capture. So that's the secondary thing. One of which, again, I give her the pressure deliberately, and I'm gonna mark and reward. That's a good girl. For her making whatever move in that moment that is required to release that pressure. So eventually I'm going to change it up on her. I'm going to have her walking and maneuvering all around me, and without that distance there, that's making it a little bit easier for her to understand what's being expected of her. But for now, we're going to keep it and just do a couple of repetitions of this one. Yes, good girl. And again, capturing that secondary understanding about being on leash. One, that we want her to have a really solid understanding of how to release the pressure on her own. We're giving her the strategy. When you feel pressure, all you need to do is surrender, come back close to me. And again, that's the secondary behavior that we're capturing, is that being close to the handler when you're on leash is the desirable behavior. And it just makes it much easier to handle your dogs. Again, this is only a couple first steps of the few different steps that we're gonna go through in this video today.